Painted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new project that we're doing. I was about to, God, I've been recording other stuff all night. I've been introducing it as welcome to the what's the word I was gonna say? Welcome to the next part of whatever game I'm doing. But no, we're doing a brand new project right now. Welcome to Luigi's Mansion. Oh man. Okay, it's my room's getting a little cold. I need to go get my I'm guessing kind of famous now Silent Hill blanket. I know I've talked a lot about just grabbing my Silent Hill blanket during several projects that I've been working on, several projects. And but honestly, like this blanket is like my favorite blanket. I adore this blanket. My wife bought it for me for Christmas last year. The only thing I really wanted for that Christmas was I just wanted a new blanket for my game room because sometimes I do get cold. I mean, I'm cold all the time, but I really just wanted a blanket. And I'm a very, very big fan of Silent Hill. Like, I'm a huge fan. Eventually, we will actually upload those. We will let's play those and kind of go off the beaten path. I don't know when I'm going to get to those, honestly, but one day I will. But welcome to Luigi's Mansion, or as they said on the GameCube was Cool podcast, welcome to Resident Evil with fishing mechanics. Which, oh my god, that might be one of my favorite jokes. Like, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, and I can't take that joke as my own. I can't give myself credit for coming up with that. That's not. I'm not clever enough to come up with that. I've been playing this game since I was 7. I mean, this game came out in 2001. I was around 6 at that time, but I didn't get a GameCube till 2002. And I only had I had 3 games with my GameCube. And this was one of them. The other 2 games I had with my GameCube, oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Whew. The other 2 games that I had with my GameCube at the time were, besides Luigi's Mansion, I had Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and my GameCube actually came with the Zelda Collector's Edition. And by the way, this shot right here of him opening the door using the key and all, that is a textbook Resident Evil scene. Like, textbook. But, oh, hello there. We'll talk more about my GameCube stories after we meet this. And here we go. This is definitely... Okay, so this is a new character. He appears in the Luigi's Mansion games. And we're just gonna call him, he'll introduce us to his real name, but he's old and still chasing ghosts. So this is Bill Murray in the new Ghostbusters movie. I sure take a lot of knocks at this line of work. I'm getting too old for this ghost-catching tomfoolery. That's a word we don't use often. His name is Professor Egad, and he's a ghost professor that lives in the area. So, but no, whenever I first got my GameCube, whenever I was 7 when I got a GameCube, even though it came out the year before and all. I didn't even know what a GameCube was until one of my friends had a GameCube. And I realized, hey, I kind of want that too. And I ended up getting a GameCube between both houses because my parents were divorced when I was very young. They split up when I was 2. And I'm going to have to skip through some of this dialogue while I'm talking. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave us on a screen. But if y'all just pay attention to the reading, I mean, y'all can pause it if y'all need. He's just kind of explaining the plot of it. I'm going to get back to everything after this. I'm going to tell y'all stories. But Egad's kind of explaining the whole thing. Luigi won a mansion in the contest he didn't enter. But Luigi, decides he just shows up. It's like, oh, I didn't enter, but I want a free house. And honest to God, in today's housing market, I don't blame him. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I know it's the whole thing of the spirits have fooled you, but you know what? I mean, in today's housing economy, if they say, hey, free house, yeah, we going. I surely wouldn't be too happy winning a haunted house. Hey, if it's free, I don't care. I'm gonna know all them ghosts by name. I'm gonna know them all by name. Like, hey, yo, don't mess with Benjamin. He died of asthma. That's foreshadowing. My asthmatic self don't feel good. So another person who looks just like us. So Mario showed up here. And Mario hasn't come back yet, which apparently is strange. But here's my thing. The house is, it's a mansion that appeared a couple of days ago and it's full of ghosts. And yet you think it's strange that he hasn't come back. You sure you're a professor, man? Like, that's a pretty self-explanatory thing. So here we are, we're doing a tutorial mission of using the Poltergust 3000. And we're going to be just kind of doing a tutorial thing of trying to catch up some ghosts and stuff like that. But back to when I first got a GameCube. So I got my first GameCube. I actually got 2 GameCubes at the time. Because, like I said, my parents were split up. They split up when I was 2. They both remarried very quickly after the divorce. And whatever I had at one house, I usually had at the other house. It just kind of what it was. Because I know there were some problems that were going on. Like, I had a lot of, like, my gaming stuff at my dad's house. I didn't stay with him that often, though. But one of the problems was I wasn't really allowed to bring stuff from his house, my mom's house, so I could use it. Which, you know, that kind of sucked. And because I had a lot of games that, like, I really wanted to play and stuff. I had stuff there that I wanted to use. But, you know, because for reasons I couldn't. So I ended up just having a bit of both at each house. And so that year I ended up getting 2 GameCubes, one at each house. And I know it should sound like, oh my god, you got 2 GameCubes? That sounds awesome. Yeah, you know what would have been better if my parents stayed together. But, you know, I mean, you have to do trade-offs. Some people have 2 parents. I had 2 GameCubes. I mean, and if you had neither of those, well, you have my sincerest of apologies. But, man, no, that was... Okay, let's try it. That's... Okay, I couldn't get them both at once. But, you know what? That's cool. I can do this. No biggie. But I ended up getting the 2 GameCubes, and the game choices between, both houses, I have to say, very strange. Well, I say very strange, but like, okay, I'm just gonna duck over. There we go. Now we can take all 5 at once. Yes. There we go. Oh, I couldn't do it any better than that. I hope my video doesn't cut out again. Because I have to restart this file because I actually had some video problems in the last one. So I have to constantly be pretty much playing the game while looking through my laptop screen. So we caught all the ghosts, all that good stuff. How about pull down the gallery? Sure, let's go down to the gallery. We're going to show this off right now. So we're going to talk to Egad. Welcome to the gallery. I once had 21 paintings in my famous ghost collection, but now they're only frames. What a crying shame. Unfortunately, there are only statues here now, but feel free to look around anyway. So we have the Game Boy Horror, which is cool. And don't try that on my angel statues. So we're going to do the exact opposite. Tap the angel statue. The wings move, and I think that might be just... It's creepy, but it's not a biblically accurate angel, which... And I mean, they don't do anything else but that, but we're just going to take a quick look while I'm talking. But I ended up getting a couple of games at each house. And, okay, this room's really nice. This room's very nice. This is where the final boss portrait goes, but there are several ghosts that we're going to catch that actually have portraits in here, and we're going to cover that kind of in the next couple of parts. So, this is the gallery, and we don't have to come back here. Yes, I'm done appreciating. We're going to go back to the lab now. And then we're going to make our way to the mansion. So, back to what I was saying, and I'm sorry, I keep interrupting myself. My ADHD is bad at times, so you'll have to bear with me. But at each house, I had my GameCube, and I had 3 games that came with them. So at my mom's house, I had games that were more for a 7-year-old. At my dad's house, I had games that were more for him. Alright, so we have a Toad here. Let's see what he's got. So he's just sitting there crying. And the Toad will kind of explain it. I'm not going to try reading this because I can't do Toad's voice while reading it in my regular voice. And I'm not going to do voice acting in this. Mainly because I just can't. But at my mom's house, I had the 3 games, like I said. I had the Zelda Collector's Edition that came with the GameCube. I had Luigi's Mansion and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. That was one of my favorites. But all of those games were amazing. And at my dad's house, my games were Resident Evil for the GameCube, the first one. Turok Evolution. Is it Evolution or... Okay, it's Evolution. I had to check on my shelf. Alright, so the game is saved. Awesome. And the last game was Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Which... Oh my god, I didn't really get into Eternal Darkness when I was that age because that game's not for someone who's 7. But what I will say is this, I ended up actually getting rid of all of those games. There was a kid in our neighborhood that he liked them all, and I actually just gave them away, and I was young at the time. I didn't understand about cost. I just had a friend that said, hey, I want this. And I was like, hey, I really don't want this. Hey, why don't you just give them to me? And I'm just like, okay. 7-year-old me was not very smart. But, is there any money in there? No, that's unfortunate. Oh, right. And... But we'll talk more about that in the next part. We're going to enter here in the next part. So thank y'all for tuning in to the first part of Luigi's Mansion. This is Everyone Knows It's Butters, and I will see everyone in part 2.